My husband, 29, and I, 26 female, have been married for 4 years. I had a great job in sales before the global issue, but we found out during that time that things worked better with my husband at work and me at home. He earns enough to support us both. I never thought I'd be a traditional wife, but given that he's the breadwinner, I sometimes feel like I should pick up a lot of the slack at home. I'm not a great cook, but I'm sociable and enjoy being the hostess. When my husband has friends over to watch soccer, I prep a huge tray of snacks, keep the beers on ice, and pop in with drink and food top-ups during the game. I don't stay to watch, but I do ask the guys how they're doing, etc. Just polite chit-chat. They all seemed into it and often commented that husband has done well to have such a great wife. It's a nice setup. Last week, my husband came home with a beautiful gift-wrapped box and said he got me a little something to wear when his friends are next over. I do my best to dress nicely when they're around, so I figured it would be a pretty dress or something. He had this huge grin on his face, so I was so excited. I opened the box to find a red latex mini dress with accessories. The dress is in his team's color. I didn't know what to say at first. I was so confused. He's never been into anything like that. He's very vanilla. I asked if it was a joke, and at first he said no, and told me his friends wouldn't believe how lucky he was if I walked in with snacks like that. I can't remember what I said next, but then he told me it would be hilarious if I wore it, and I should lighten up. I laughed nervously, and later told him that I thought it was funny too. This morning, he'd put both items on my dresser and said he's looking forward to seeing me in them when the guys are around tomorrow. I reminded him that he said it was a joke. He got a bit sulky and said he couldn't believe I didn't have a sense of humor. But from what he's saying, it sounds like he's expecting me to wear it. I'm so confused because 1, I don't know if he's done this as a joke because his friends think I talk too much, or 2, he'd get off on me being humiliated. He says I'm being uptight and called me out for being an idiot, but I honestly don't think I'm being unreasonable. Am I the idiot? What? If it's something he's into, this is not the way to introduce it. And if humor really is the goal, tell him that his friends would find it even funnier if he wore it. Undeniably true. Then you can get upset if he doesn't go along with that, because that would make him uptight. And where's his sense of humor? 100% not the idiot. If I saw a friend's wife wearing a red latex mini dress when I went over to watch the game, I'd get out of there and stop responding to their calls. I would be super uncomfortable and confused. This is so weird that even a low-level idiot would probably go, "What the heck?" Your husband is weird. Consider staying away during the next party, and definitely consider getting a job and a backup bank account that he doesn't have access to. This has nothing to do with being something he's into. This is about his inability to see her as an actual human being with feelings who experiences her life beyond existing as his appendage, which makes it okay in his mind to dress her up like soccer Barbie and demean her to entertain his friends. Girl, I'd have honest second thoughts about my marriage in your shoes. You're 26. It doesn't seem like you have kids with this guy, so just move on. Definitely this. Your husband's idea of a joke is humiliating you to his friends. He's showing you off like a possession. Don't stay dependent on someone who will do this to you. You should always have your own source of income. It's fun being a stay-at-home wife for a while, but what if something happens to him? You have a huge career gap and no resume. A man who treats you like a joke is not a good long-term bet. Take care of yourself. OP, you are so young and had a great job. Do you really want to throw that away for a guy who treats you like a joke? You realize, right, why it's such a foolish idea to put yourself at the financial mercy of someone when you don't have to. This is what happens. He has a well-trained wife who knows her place, serving the men and discreetly slips away when not wanted. Congrats on being married to a misogynist, and congrats on enabling him. Go back to your mom's house and ask for advice. You need to wake up. My husband, 30, and I, 24 female, were invited to our friend's wedding on Saturday. It was a child-free wedding, and our daughter, toddler, had to stay home. We were fine with it and asked my mom to look after her. She said yes, but my sister broke her foot, and she had to help her while she recovered. My husband wanted his sister to babysit instead, but I immediately said no, because the last time she did, we came home to our daughter crying in our neighbor's arms, while my sister-in-law went to see a movie with her boyfriend. Apparently, my sister-in-law had knocked on their door and left them our daughter without any explanation. Thankfully, we have nice neighbors, and they took her in. Since then, I refused to let my sister-in-law look over our daughter, but my husband said I should make an exception for our friend's wedding. But I don't want to, because we'll be 3 hours away, and I'm scared something's going to happen while we're not there. I suggested a babysitter and said I'd pay for it if it was necessary, but my husband refused to let a stranger look after our kid and still insisted that I let my sister-in-law do it. I stayed in my position and my husband in his, and he texted our friend that we won't be there. He's been passive-aggressive since and only answers with sarcasm. Am I the idiot for causing us to cancel going to the wedding? Edit. Neighbors can't babysit. They moved out a month ago and we don't have their numbers. Not the idiot. Sister-in-law is not a reliable person to leave your child with. A babysitter paid by you is a good option, but I wonder why you or your husband couldn't just go alone to the wedding though. It's starting to sound like you have a husband problem. Sister-in-law is definitely not a person to ever watch your child again, but your husband didn't accept any compromise. So what are you supposed to do apart from cancel? Right? I'm mad I can't go to the wedding. You can totally go. No, that's not what I meant. But honestly, this was a husband's problem the moment he didn't immediately cut off his sister when she abandoned his child with a stranger to go watch a movie. Why is your husband so willing to leave your toddler with someone who's already proven they're untrustworthy and unreliable? This is my hill to die on, and I would be rethinking our relationship. The answer is probably the same as why the sister was so willing to drop the baby on the neighbor so she could go to the movies. Selfish and entitled. I want what I want when I want it. Same reason he's mad about missing the wedding. Who cares about the kid? I want to go have fun. Also, it isn't you canceling. Your husband's putting his foot down and trying to manipulate you into giving him what he wants. I, 25 female, am the middle child of 3 siblings. Allison, 28, female. Jake, 22, male. Sadly, I'm the stereotypical unseen middle child, while Allison is the golden daughter. She literally cannot do anything wrong based on my parents' opinion. I opened up a new bakery in our town. My mom invites the whole family for dinner once in a while, and this time, she said the dinner was in my honor to celebrate my new job, which was sweet, and I was pleasantly surprised. Allison lives in a different city. When she came home for dinner, she was not alone. She had her girlfriend, Elizabeth, 30, female, with her. Now, Allison is a playgirl who uses her law degree to have intimacy, even on my friends back in the day, but she never brought her girlfriends home. She did this time, and everyone's attention was on her. Throughout the dinner, there was only one mention of my bakery. Ironically, it was from Elizabeth. The rest was spent getting to know Elizabeth, her job, her interest, how she met Allison, etc. It also didn't help that she was a psychiatrist, so everyone had questions. I was beyond angry. She could have brought her home any other time, but chose this one time when our parents decided to acknowledge me. So I was cold throughout dinner. Not that anyone really cared. At the end of the night, Allison asked me why I was sulking, and I told her the truth. And I said she managed to make this about herself, that she couldn't live if the spotlight wasn't on her. She told me I should be happy for her because she's fallen in love and was extremely happy with her girlfriend and wanted her to participate in this celebration. She knew exactly what bringing a girlfriend would do to the dinner, so I told her she could have done it literally any other night. Right now, we're still pretty distant. Am I the idiot here? Am I overreacting? No idiots here. I don't think your sister did it on purpose. In my experience, the golden child rarely realizes how much more attention they get than their siblings. Your parents do this, but you've directed your anger at your sister. When you've cooled down a bit, I think it's worth a conversation with her about how you feel. If things go well, it could lead to you two being closer, and maybe even her help in directing more parental attention your way. You are kind of an idiot for calling her a playgirl. How many people she sleeps with is no one's business but hers. I agree to an extent, but Allison is an adult, not a child, and she knows what she's doing is wrong, and she knows exactly why she's doing it. So parents and Allison are both idiots. We excuse adults for their parents' behavior for far too long. Allison has been in the real world long enough to know what she's doing is poisonous, and she did it deliberately because she could. OP, you are the idiot for suggesting your sister uses her law degree to have intimacy. How does having a law degree help? I'm a lawyer. Let me check your briefs. It sounds petty and mean, and you have a lot of negative emotions about your sister. Certain types of people are attracted to successful people with money. That's how. If she's manipulative with this information, I could see having a law degree working in the same way as being an actual lawyer. If she's trying to have intimacy, she can use the fact that she has that degree to imply she'll be successful in the future. Make them think she likes them and that they'll have a bright financial future together. Depends on what kind of person the sister is. Of course, this is all hypothetical. We only have OP's side, so she might not use her degree this way, but I can see how it can be done. My brother passed away 5 years ago. He has a daughter who was a tween at the time. Let's call her Nora. My other brother became Nora's legal guardian, but she ended up living with me most of the time, and we got closer. She is like a daughter to me, and even though I'm not her legal guardian, everyone in our family has accepted me as her dad. I started dating my girlfriend about a year ago and told her that I had a daughter. I didn't go into detail that she's not mine. I just wanted her to know that Nora and I are a package deal. I introduced her to Nora about 4 months ago, and they do not get along. Nora's not an easy kid to get along with, and my girlfriend lacks patience. A few days ago, she found out that Nora was actually not mine and freaked out. She called me an idiot for lying to her and forcing her to tolerate and spend time with that annoying kid who isn't even mine. I told her that Nora was mine and kicked her out of my home for insulting my child in my home. I've been getting texts from her friends who all think I'm an idiot. Not the idiot. Biological father or not, legal guardian or not, you are responsible for Nora, and it's part of your job to advocate for her, which is exactly what you were doing. You owe no one an explanation of the true nature of your relationship with Nora. OP needs to drop the girlfriend and keep the kid. The girlfriend isn't a keeper, definitely. Nora's OP's daughter. However, OP admits it's difficult to get along with Nora, but never explains why. I wonder what happened between Nora and OP's girlfriend. Nora's a teen now, and let's be honest, teen kids can be a nightmare. It doesn't excuse OP's girlfriend's words, but it might explain some things. I'm going to assume it's a mix of angst and trauma. She lost her father as a tween. Her mother isn't in the picture. She had to move in with her uncle, then moved again to a place she was happier and more comfortable at, and now there's this new person in her safe space. Then I'm guessing she was angsty. The girlfriend didn't have the patience for it, and they were at each other from then on. I have no idea if this is right or not. I'm basing this on what I could see my daughter doing. Yes, you're right. I'd like to know what it means that Nora's not easy to get along with. Did she reject OP's girlfriend's attempts to bond? Is she rude? Does she lie? Break things? OP says that his girlfriend had no patience with Nora, but he also never bothered to explain to his girlfriend what happened to this kid and how traumatized she is. I assume the girlfriend just thought Nora was a brat. What a messy situation. Nothing can excuse the girlfriend's words, but yeah, this relationship wasn't meant to be. It's a beautiful thing you did in taking in your niece, and fair play to you for considering her your own daughter. But you've been with your girlfriend for a year and never told her the truth? You can be upfront about the situation while still being firm that she's part of the deal and not going anywhere. It's possible your girlfriend felt blindsided and deceived and reacted out of that. You are the idiot for not being honest and upfront in the first place. You can tell people the truth and tell them you and Nora are a package deal. The other night, I went on a super awkward double date and wanted a second opinion. I'm 27 female, friends with Amy, 29 female. Our husbands get along okay, but aren't really friends. Amy recently complained to me about how her husband spends all their excess money on DoorDash at work. She's tried talking to him about it, and he says he'll stop, and he does for a week and starts back up. Amy makes about $60K a year, and her husband makes about $35K a year. So he's essentially blowing money that mostly she's making on takeout because he's too lazy to pack a sandwich. Amy asked me if I have any issues with my husband wasting money on stuff like that. I explained to Amy that my husband and I have always had separate finances. I make about $120K per year, and he makes about $100K. We split our utilities, mortgage, and stuff 50-50, and we take turns paying for dates and groceries. We don't nickel and dime each other, but anything extra comes from our money, like clothes, video games, etc. I don't really involve myself in his finances, not that I need to. He's a grown man and all. I didn't push her to do the same. I just answered her questions honestly. I explained why I'm happy doing this arrangement that works for us. Amy on her own confronted her husband that she was tired of him not listening to her, and she got her own bank account and told him that their finances would be separate from now on. He was furious, but she stood her ground, and there was nothing he could do really. We went on a double date last night, and it was awkward. He only got a side salad because it was his turn to pay apparently. He then went off on everyone present about how he's glad everyone's happy but him. It was super uncomfortable, and I don't entirely understand why a 30-year-old man expects his wife to foot his expensive lifestyle. He said that it was my fault for influencing his wife into doing something stupid. So I guess the conflict is between me and him. Am I the idiot for indirectly influencing my friend and making her husband unhappy? Not the idiot, and he is. Seriously, he was leeching off of her. All you did was tell your friend how you manage expenses with your husband. Her using the same advice had nothing to do with you. The fact that he's now taking it out on all of you proves that he needs to act like an adult and realize that not everything is a free ride. Good luck to Amy. The way things are going, I suspect she'll be looking for a divorce lawyer soon. He's mad you ruined his gravy train. His reaction is very telling. He wouldn't be so furious if he wasn't well aware he couldn't spend money the way he did if his wife didn't make it. If it upsets him, he should earn more money. Who wants to bet that he'd be mad as heck if she spent that much money on stuff that isn't even needed, even though it's literally her money, her choice? If she was spending it all, which she could be, it's hers. He wouldn't be able to blow it on takeout either. Good on your friend for immediately taking your advice. It could have gotten way out of hand.